All right, thank you for staying with Citizen TV, and State of the Nation right here on Daybreak begins right now. We're talking matters, politics and everything in between there. Please send in your comments at Trevor Mbidi at Citizen TV Kenya. Use the hashtag Daybreak. We'll sample some of your views in just a bit. My guests are with me here in studio. Honorable Hilary Sigei, Senator from Bomet. Thank you for making time.
Thank you, Trevor, for having me here.
Honorable Dan Manzo, Senator from Makueni, is also here with us. Asante for making time.
Thank you, Trevor. And
we're waiting for Honorable Mark Nyamita, Member of Parliament for Uriri. As soon as he comes in, we'll drop him into the discussion midway. Let's start off with the front page of the Standard. They say the executive's lapdog is what they're leading with there. Born out of the 2007-2008 bloodshed to curb hate-fueled violence, the National Cohesion Integration Commission now faces accusations of selective justice. As President William Ruto's allies fan ethnic tensions, the commission is seen as backing at dissenters but muting itself when power peddles hate. Observers say it's no longer just asleep at the wheel, it may be complicit. Sigei, is the NCIC complicit?
Trevor, thank you. This is one of those commissions that I've actually failed to understand why they still exist. I'm saying so because I recall the period 2020-2022 backwards. Then I was still in full-time active practice. I used to have quite a number of clients. Every so often would be summoned by this commission for the statements they have made out there in their rallies, in their microphones, in their offices, which during that time, Trevor, it used to send a message of there is an institution that is a watchdog to the kind of statements that we are making. The current commission and commissioners have basically failed. They don't need to be in office because they are not doing what they are supposed to do, such that for the very first time, I somehow give some credit to the fact that the Standard are saying here in its headline.
Yeah.
Yes.
But you know, I was with one of them, Danvas Makori, the commissioner here, and he said that it's parliamentarians, you leaders, are the ones who've watered down their powers because they are formed by an act of parliament.
Yes.
They do not have prosecutorial powers, their budgets have been cut, which makes their work much more difficult. Is that a valid...
It cannot be an excuse, Trevor, for them not to even be able to summon some of those who make those crazy utterances out there to the public. As I told you, this is not a commission that its mandate has changed just overnight. No, they have been having. Probably they would just say something else. Yeah. The budget, almost every other commission have had a budget cut. It does not justify at all the fact that they have just kept quiet, they are not listening, or rather, I would say, they selectively listen, because there are sorts of statements that comes across from a number of our leaders and political class, which, for whatever it's worth, even having them to explain for purposes of those others appreciating that when I make such a statement, it is either inciting the public, it is profiling certain communities, and therefore I shouldn't. Let them summon and make recommendations, leave the rest of the responsibilities and to charge before courts to the relevant authorities. Okay. It is not that it is justifiable. They are unable to summon them, not at all.
Okay.
Yeah. As I've told you, yeah. I appeared before them severally with a number of clients then. And as to whether or not they the law has changed or the budget has been cut, summoning a politician who has failed to honor sometimes the summons even gives them more teeth than just keeping quiet the way they are doing. So I don't buy the statement by Commissioner or Commissioner Makori or any other commissioner that Parliament has become a stumbling block to their mandate, to their work. Not at all.
Even as we speak, they had summoned the former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, but then he said he's not coming. He just said flat out that he's not coming.
There are means and ways with which they can advance such an arrangement. Look at it this way, Trevor. Honorable Sigei has been summoned before NCIC for purposes of explaining a certain statement. The fact that the public knows that I have made certain statements which warrant my appearance before them alone in itself means that some action has been done. As to whether or not then I will appear, because if I were to say that I have refused to go, there are modalities with which they can advance that defiance on my part to also tell the public the extent to which that defiance has caused more harm by the said politician. Well, that is what, of course, the Honorable Rigathi Gachagua wanted, to profile himself and say, I cannot appear. But still, I insist NCIC have not been fair to Kenyans. They have not been able to do what is expected of them as a commission. Notwithstanding the challenges that they are claiming that exist, other commissioners have similar challenges, but we still see them at least trying to do something that supports the mandate that have been given by law and by Kenyans, by virtue of their being in office.
All right. Manzo, has the NCIC failed Kenyans, or is it parliamentarians who have watered down their powers?
Well, I want to say that I've had an experience since NCIC was formed. As an advocate of the High Court of Kenya, I've appeared before them with clients. They have an act of parliament, and the first activity they have is to put people together. They deal with the national cohesion. So even when they have even an investigative arm, a few experienced investigators and former police officers or current police officers work with them. They also work with the Department of DCI, the IG's office, and also work with the office of the DPP. So you cannot say that they are not properly supported by those institutions, but it is true their budgets have been cut, and the moment you cut budgets into an important commission like this, you cripple them. You find that the movement is limited, and because they're supposed to travel around the country and deal with the situations where there are tensions, like you saw the other times in some parts of Gucha and where communities neighbor. They are supposed to have gone to northern Kenya, where there's been trouble, although part of the aggression comes from outside the country. So they have a big role, and I think that role has been watered down by Parliament. They have been looked down upon. And also, they have also to make their act better. They must follow their own acts and must follow law, but they must not follow the pressure or politicians. If I don't like a certain politician, I want to pressurize them to go and arrest that politician, even when he makes fair comments. And there are many others who have been summoned. It's only that it has not been public, and they refuse to show up. There are mechanisms of forcing these politicians to show up. You remember Farah Malim, when he made some statements which were not very good to ears of many people, the religious sector, and even political parties, and you know, the goodness of the nation. He was asked to appear, and he did. And you see, when people appear before the commission, they are taken through statements, yeah, and their complainants are also represented, the people who complain, and then you are able to bring those people together. And mostly when it is a public apology, that matter ends there, because their work is not to strictly prosecute, but it's to make sure that there are no ethnic tensions, yeah, there are no tensions between people, and any excessive utterances, you know, are brought to book. And most probably, if that person makes a public apology, that matter ends there. But if you are not, if you are innocent, I'm not going to be dragged to the commission when I know that I've just made a fair comment or I've stated the truth. Yeah. Then if they so feel that it's compelling sufficiently for me to appear, yeah, then they have the mechanisms to make sure that I'm arrested and I do appear. So
should the NCIC be disbanded or strengthened?
No, it should be strengthened. It's a very important body, especially right now, when you have a lot of ethnic tensions and, you know, brewing, and the politics sort of based in the ethnicity instead of cohesive or bringing Kenyan people together. This is a time they should be strengthened and they should be made strong, so that they can deal. You know, there are many other things NCIC does quietly, without coming into the news. They are permanently busy. They are so active in putting communities together, and they were the ones who were actually responsible in sorting out that problem which was brewing between the Maasai community and the neighboring communities, theft of cattle and killings, land issues, traditional, you know, land owned by communities.
Okay.
And their presence there is very healing to the communities, and by the time they leave, you no longer hear more problems. Okay. They may not necessarily prosecute anyone, but they have made peace and all the operations of neighbors and things like that to make sure there is cohesiveness, there is respect. So there's a lot more they do other than these political utterances, some of which you cannot do anything about, and some of which are not, you know, actualized. They're just threats.
Yes. Let me bring in, Sigrid, there's something that Manzo has mentioned twice now, ethnic tension. Are we seeing a rise in ethnic tension, or is this just political selfish interests that are at play right now in the political arena?
There is no ethnic tension as at now that I can say as a matter of fact that it exists. However, the utterances that comes from the political class can incite the public in a manner that ultimately would lead to such tension existing. Why do I say so? I say so because Kenyans, as a matter of fact, by the way, know that they are ordinarily each brother or sister's keeper. That I can tell you. The people I interact with who are not necessarily the political class on a daily basis have got every importance to hold on to Kenya being a united country without the tribal and, class that we sometimes, when we make our political statements, want to make it appear to be existing. That, to the normal Mwananchi, doesn't exist. But sometimes when you listen to the kind of statements that the political class makes, you see through the lines and appreciate now what one would say. If we continue this way, we are fueling some kind of discomfort from among the tribes that are in Kenya. And unfortunately, some of these have come across from the former deputy president every other time before he makes a statement. Our people, Mount Kenya, Mount Kenya. And we have said we don't have Mount Kenya alone. We have got the rest of Kenyans. We've got Mount Elgon. We've got Mount Kilimanjaro. We have got Mount Makueni, where my good brother Sideta Manso comes from, such that the mindset of the public would always be like, is it only that this former leader only have got or had a mindset of his own people? When the other day you listened to him addressing a number of the sittings that is had in the United States of America, there is one clip that I was very sad to listen to, and very unfortunate that we have had such a person to be the second most powerful person in Kenya for the short period that he was the deputy president, where he was he was telling the people that we have a problem with two people in our community, and I want you, residents in the United States of America, to call back home to your relatives to tell them that the member of parliament for Kikuyu, this is the majority leader in the National Assembly, and the member of parliament for Laikipia, Mwangi Kiunjuri, we will not forget that they have become collaborators with the current government that is not supporting our community. You can imagine that is a statement being made thousands of kilometers away by a former deputy president who unfortunately was as tribal as he still is to the people in the United States of America who do not even understand, leave alone support the aspect of tribalism. So this is a few people. In this context, I would say Rigathi Gachagua and probably 2 or 3 of the people who speak the language of tribalism. The rest of us do not, and the rest of Kenyans do not. But we should be able to appreciate the fact that if we facilitate such statements from among politicians, you will naturally be fueling mindset that would think, do we then have got these tribal clients? I'm a father of young kids. My kids do not know that there is a Kikuyu in their class or there is a Kalenjin in their class, because we interact every day with Kenyans, not tribal groupings or personalities. And it's what we were saying earlier on, that notwithstanding the challenges that the NCIC could be purporting to have in terms of budgetary allocations or even the law that is in place that has gagged them from doing certain things, it does not justify their inability to come out and tell Kenyans that, for heaven's sake, we are Kenyans. We've pushed for a united Kenya. And that is why the president has actually gone out of his way. Right now, when we speak, the people who sit in the government of William Ruto are a representation of Kenyans. No community, at least, has been left out of this government. But when you listen to the likes of Rigathi Gachagua, you wonder if at all God would have given them a moment or two, even for 1 hour, to run a government, we would be in a situation which now we are worried about when we see NCIC keeping quiet, not speaking to Kenyans. Because I believe that they are supposed to be issuing press statements almost every day to discount such statements. I'm looking at page 4, where the Honorable Manzo was among the team that had accused the National Cohesion and Integration Commission of bias. This is on a past event. I am saying this because I am here with him. It is given. When we have, just like our general life aspects, when we've got something to do with political bias, it distorts our mindset, our representation of issues on almost a daily basis. And I look forward to a better and more active NCIC, which does not blame you don't need resources to issue a press and say that the statement that was made by Senator Sigei yesterday in Parliament was improper. We would expect him to say better. Unfortunately, most of our political class nowadays go for what I would call TikTok bites, news. That is catchy, a catchy statement, but the long-term effect of it would be to, incite the people you're talking about, or to even depict some kind of political alignment or group profiling. That is what they should be speaking to avoid us getting that platform and making... I have to take a quick commercial break. Manzo, I know you have a right of response. And now joining us is Honorable Mark Nyamita, Member of Parliament for Uriri. I'll give you both a chance to talk about it. It is on the front page of the Standard, the executive's laptop. It is what they say. They're accusing NCIC of being complicit. I'll give you a chance to respond right after this commercial break. Let's come back in just a bit. Send in your views at Trevor Mbija at CitizenTV Kenya. Use the hashtag Daybreak. See you in just a short while.